A displacement map uses pixels, whether it's the RGB of the pixels or the luminosity, to distort an image. And with this, you could create the effect of an image being in 3D. I'm going to create a new composition. Drag an image in. Break this image into a gradient image going from white to black. This is going to go from white to gray to black over there. Using a shape with nothing selected. This is the foreground. I'm going to center the pivot. This way, when the vector is scaled, it will scale around this point. I'm going to duplicate it, Control D or Command D. Scaling this up. This is the color of the wall in the background. I'm going to make this a gradient starting at this value. Clicking on fill, and type of fill will be a linear gradient. Rotating the gradient tool so it starts out like this. Then click on the color swatch and change the foreground color, this color stop, to white. Going to pull this over a little bit. Next, there was a door back here. Let me turn off the wall. Select the rectangle tool again and draw a rectangle as big as the door. And this will be a solid color. Click on the fill. Pick solid. Make that solid color darker, like this. And let's take a look at our layers, all of them on. There's a column right over here. Deselect. So clicking off here, so nothing's selected. Drawing a rectangle. And that rectangle represents this column. I'm going to turn on the wall layer. The column's a little in front of the wall, so it shouldn't be this dark. I'm going to use the color picker, clicking on the swatch here, using the color picker to pick up the color of the wall, and then push it a little lighter. Selecting this shape, Control D to duplicate it, or Control D or Command D to duplicate, and putting it where the other wall is. Let's turn off the wall. For all these shapes, it's a good idea to start naming things. So this is column 2. This way, when your scene becomes complex, you could quickly select things. This is doorway. So click, press enter, and then type. And this will be the floor. We're almost done. You can make adjustments to this afterwards. Right now, let's just test it out. Selecting all these shapes, right click and pre-compose. Name this maybe grayscale -BG. I'm going to turn off this layer. I don't need to see it. It's just there to be used as a luminosity mask. Selecting the image, going under Effects and Presets, use Displacement Map and apply it like that. Then go under Displacement Map Layer, and remember the luminosity layer is turned off. And select the grayscale background, the displacement map that was just created. You can already see the image jump. Go to Use for Horizontal Displacement and Use for Vertical Displacement and select Luminosity for both of them. And now when these numbers change, there's a change in the image. I'm going to click on Wrap Pixels Around, and that will take care of some of the distortion that happens when the image goes a little too far, like this, over here. You should really use an image that's bigger than the current canvas. Currently I'm using 1920 by 1080 image on a 1920 by 1080 composition. It'd be better to use a 4K image here.